not gonna dox anyone, so I'm not gonna go into specifics, but Lopez, if you remember my face, this one's for you. And if you remember me, I hope it gives you all the vindication you need, because I will not be doing this again. So like I said in my Vox Machina video, I will not be going into specifics as to why I am not watching Get Out. I had to sort of reconsider my entire recording schedule and the way I record and the way I do my hair. I had to make some adjustments, and Pride and Prejudice is a part of the adjustments. I have not seen this movie or read the book for a lot of reasons. I did make a reference to them in my Nirvana and Fire video, but that's because I do know about Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy. They're mentioned in almost every part of popular media that has two pining characters. I know about that, but the problem is me and Jane Austen have beef. Now, for those of you who know, and for those of you who don't, my name is TK, your resident lunatic, and today we are watching the 2005 adaptation of the book Pride and Prejudice, starring Keira Knightley and some other dude, Matthew McFadden? I don't recognize him. One of the things you'll learn about me very, very quickly is that sometimes I have trouble telling faces apart. And then when those faces are in a movie, it gets especially bad. That's beside the point. I'm getting off topic because me and Miss Jane Austen have beef. Now, a lot of you guys already know this, but I am a college dropout. I majored in theater, then English, and then back to theater. Now, I quit for a variety of reasons. About a year and a half of racially based harassment was one of them. I dropped out of college and kind of ended up at culinary school. But the fact of the matter is that during my tenure in majoring in English, one of my professors at the time, Dr. Lopez, was really big into Victorian and Edwardian literature and would often give us assignments to read these rather thick and dense books to enhance our writing, which I, at the time, did not feel was especially necessary because I wanted to write something more contemporary, and she was sort of fixated on this addle-pated style of writing. It wasn't my thing at the time. So I became a certified Jane Austen hater. Looking back, my professor, Dr. Lopez, was a very good literature teacher, but these assignments were so dense and often given to us in such a short time that we didn't have time to do any writing. So I fought tooth and nail. I hated reading these books, particularly Emma. I wasn't too keen on reading about the affairs of a group of people who benefited from the transatlantic slave trade, and then when they abolished it, pretend like they had nothing to do with it. Never finished Emma, and I swore up and down that if I ever died before my time, I would fight Jane Austen in the afterlife, right after Flannery O'Connor and William David Thoreau. I don't think that's his name. It was a funny joke at the time, but I think about it now and I'm like, woo, I really hated those books. When I told my mother this, she seemed really frustrated. I was like, I just can't stand those books, Mom. They're so boring. And she was like, which one did you read? And I was like, Emma. She was like, no, read Pride and Prejudice. You'll change your mind. And I never did. Romance as a standalone genre isn't necessarily my thing. I wish I had a good reason for that. Often romance relies on a lot of mundane tropes like misunderstandings and miscommunication. But misunderstandings and miscommunication happen in real life so much, especially in a romantic relationship. Sometimes you just don't communicate well. Like if you've ever worked in corporate, miscommunications and misunderstandings are actually quite common and can often have dire consequences. I am not sure why I have such an aversion to just romance as a genre, but it's the reason I haven't been watching or reacting to a lot of the BLs that have been suggested, like Ken Porsche. It's just not my thing. I love love, but I usually love with a side of, I don't know, action or at least some type of political drama. This, to be honest, I'm skeptical. And I hate to say that, I'm sorry, Mom, but I am very skeptical. Man, movies from the early 2000s really look different, don't they? Very peaceful. Reminds me of those cottagecore vlogs. I mean, I'm pretty sure this probably inspired the cottagecore vlogs. Keira Knightley is so beautiful. Like, there's just something so effortless about the way she looks. I know a lot of work has gone into it because, I mean, it does for every star, but God, she's got the jawline of frickin' Aphrodite. I'm probably gonna say how beautiful this movie is, like, once every 10 minutes. Ignore it. House is a bit rowdy, I see. A lot of daughters. World's longest establishing shot.
Dear Mr. Bennet, have you heard? Netherfield Park is let at last. Do you not want to know who has taken it?
Well, as you wish to tell me, my dear, I doubt I have any choice in the matter.
You're gonna tell me anyways.
He's single. Who's single?
Single man? What?
So that is his design in settling here?
Girls.
Good heavens. People.
How can you tease me so? Have you no compassion for my poor nerves?
Although I feel like you have no compassion for his eardrums at the worst of times.
They've been my constant companions these 20 years.
Got what?
I'll give my heart a
Who y'all talking about? They're very excited about the prospect of getting married. And the younger sisters really want to be involved. And while she's enjoying the pageantry, she's just kind of like, aw, how cute. I'm guessing she's not the oldest sister. Gorgeous house. Wow, the sound design in this... I almost said game. The sound design in this is amazing, but so loud. I like how alive spaces feel in this movie. It's one of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of a lot of modern movies. A lot of people just seem to be milling around and ignoring the things going on around them, or they're just staring at the main character.
Does not end the evening in love with you, that I am no judge of beauty. Oh man, then you'll have to watch your tongue.
Sure. Oh. Alright. Who's the guy in the middle?
That is his good friend, Mr. Darcy.
It's miserable.
So this is Mr. Darcy. Miserable, though.
And he owns half of Derbyshire.
The miserable half.
She loves to talk so much shit. Oh my god. Oh, he already notices her. Okay. She's not having it. Someone's long coattail is gonna catch on fire. Alright, let's resume.
Listen to the girls, immediately.
She is determined to marry off those girls, and her dad is not having it. He really does look like a vampire. I'm sorry.
Bennet, Miss Jane Bennet, Elizabeth, and Miss Mary Bennet.
It is a pleasure.
Mary does not look happy to be there. And of the lady? Okay, well, at least he's charismatic.
Oh, I mean, I can read, of course. And I'm not suggesting you can't read out of doors.
Oh, he's so awkward, bless. Okay, so the two blondes are hitting it off. They are so happy. They are so happy to, like, meet men. I bet you they are, though. They're a little bit isolated, you know? They probably don't have many friends.
Do you dance, Mr. Darcy?
Not if I can help it.
Okay.
Wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud.
He's the kind of one that thinks he's above of having a good time.
We are a long way from Grosvenor Square, are we not, Mr. Darcy?
She seems a little stuck
You were
up.
dancing with the only handsome girl in the room.
She is the most beautiful creature I have ever beheld. Her sister
Oh,
Elizabeth.
I wouldn't dance with him for all of Derbyshire, let alone the miserable half.
I kind of like Lizzie. She talks shit. I like her. Oh, I kind of like the ginger. He's so upbeat. I hope he doesn't turn into an asshole. God, he looks like a vampire. You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of those guys on Tinder that always have like those super edgy, like about me profiles. Also, how tall is this man? Good lord.
Splendid dancer, is she?
She's a one-woman PR team.
Oh, yes, I adore her.
It is a pity she's not more handsome.
Mom.
Mama?
Oh, but Lizzie will never admit that she's plain.
Mom!
Of course, it's my Jane who is considered the beauty of the county.
Mom. Who let her have wine? Who let Mom into the wine?
When did you first discovered the power of poetry in driving away love?
I thought the poetry was the food of love.
Of a fine stout love, it may. But if it is only a vague inclination, I'm convinced one poor sonnet will kill it stone dead.
So what do you recommend to encourage affection?
Ooh,
Dancing. Even if one's partner is
barely tolerable. Get fucked! She's like, that'll put him in his place, little bitch. But he absolutely does remind me of those guys on Tinder who have like those super edgy profiles and think like that will draw people to him.
Mr. Bingley is just what a young man ought to be.
Are you sure about that? I hope so. This movie is very intimate. Like, everyone seems very close in proximity. And I guess that matters because, what we get to see when everyone is this close in proximity and so intimate with each other, that we get to see how isolated Mr. Darcy looks. Because even at the party, he was just kind of glowering in the background, just glaring.
It is a shame she's not more handsome. There's a spinster in the making and no mistake.
Mom! So we get where Lizzie knows how to talk shit.
We're safe. Haste, Jane, make haste. Oh, happy day.
Let's hope so.
Can I take the carriage?
Where? Let me see that.
It is too far to walk, Mama.
It's unaccountable of him dining out, indeed.
Mama, the carriage for Jane.
Lizzie's on her sister's side.
I shall have to stay the night, exactly as I predicted.
Good grief, woman. Your skills in the art of matchmaking are positively occult.
Really?
So I don't think, Mama, you can reasonably take credit for making it rain.
No, but I mean, meteorology hasn't been invented yet, so...
It'd be a comfort to know I was in pursuit of Mr. Bingley.
People do
Yeah,
not
he's
die
not.
of cold.
He's not a fan of his daughters being essentially sold. Lizzie loves her sister. She's gonna go be there for her. I guess this will be her second encounter with Mr. Darcy. Unkempt and in a duster. My goodness.
Lord, Miss Elizabeth, did you walk here?
I'm so sorry. How is my sister?
She's upstairs.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. I guess I'll go now. Mr. Bingley seems cool.
Not a pleasure that she's ill, of course not.
He's woefully awkward, though. Bless his heart.
Plan. He's half in love with her already. And he doesn't mind a bit that she hasn't a penny, for he has more than enough for the two of them.
And he's just like, okay. The little sisters are in love with the idea of being in love. Being an officer's wife is not fucking easy. Like, in any era. So, notice how I said this movie seems very intimate, but see how spaced out everyone is in this scene here?
I was quite in raptures at her beautiful little design for a table.
Perhaps you will give me leave
Yeah,
to
see,
defer
and now she's
till
very,
I write again.
very isolated and alone.
I cannot boast of knowing more than half a dozen women in all my acquaintance that are truly accomplished.
Nor I, to be sure.
Goodness, you must comprehend a great deal in the idea.
Whoop!
I do.
Absolutely.
Elizabeth cannot help but talk shit.
And something in her air and manner of walking.
And of course you must improve
Miss
my mind
Bingley,
by
are you a
sense of
lesbian?
reading.
Let's go for a walk. Sassy pants. Just taking turns. Bothering him, I love that.
Maybe it's that I find it hard to forgive the follies and vices of others, or their offences against me. My good opinion, once lost, is lost forever.
I feel like that's your father talking, but okay.
It's a shame, for I dearly love to laugh.
A family trait, I think.
Was that a jab at... Oh, that's a hell of a shot. Wow. And they both sit on either side of him.
Oh, for heaven's sake, are we to receive every Bennet in the country?
Yes.
Excellent reunion.
Oh! Oh, the goth kid. Love her.
Find the country very diverting. Don't you agree, Darcy?
Perfectly adequate.
Oh, God. Are we gonna check on the oldest Bennet? Is she still sick and dying?
Bingley, I don't know how to thank you.
You're welcome any time you feel the least bit poorly.
He's so smitten with her. Oh, my God.
Not at all. Pleasure is all mine.
She has an air about her. Just the actress herself. I don't know where she's from. I don't know where I've seen her from. I'm sure she's been in a movie I've seen recently. And notice how they're so... She's so done with that. Oh my god. I'm going back to my piano. I'm ignoring all y'all bullshit. Oh,
Collins.
he a religious man? He seems to be.
What a superbly featured
That makes
room,
me
and what
so friggin'
excellent
hungry.
Boiled many years since I've had such an exemplary vegetable.
Oh, so that's what this line is from.
Which very pleased the estate can afford such a living.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
How happy for you, Mr. Collins, to possess the talent for flattering with such delicacy.
But
I always wish to give them as unstudied an air as possible.
Oh, believe me, no one would suspect your manners to be rehearsed.
you are being made fun of.
I have with me Fordyce's sermons.
Oh, he is a
which
religious
speak very
man.
eloquently on all matters moral.
Boring.
And I have to inform you that the eldest Miss Bennet has captured my special attention.
Anyone but you, actually.
Agreed. Mr. Collins.
Indeed.
Lizzie's like, someone's gaze is burning the back of my neck. I've never had such an exceptional boiled vegetable.
Mr. Collins is the sort of man who makes you despair at the entire sex.
He does seem exceptionally boring. Oh,
Shall we all look for some ribbon together?
wow. Lizzie's got isekai protagonist written all over her, apparently.
And buckles. When it comes to buckles, I'm lost.
Dear, oh dear. You must be the shame of the regiment.
What laughing stock?
Everyone in this movie is so, like, witty and whip smart. I know that's kind of like the Jane Austen thing.
Allow me to oblige.
Oh, no, Mr. Wickham, please.
She's like, you know what? I'm gonna leave it.
I pity the French. What have they put you
So do
up
I.
to you?
The English always pity the French.
Yeah, you can't invite people to other people's balls.
Oh, do they know each other?
Forgive me, but are you acquainted with him?
Not willingly,
Mr.
apparently.
You may well be surprised, Miss Elizabeth, especially given our cold greeting this afternoon.
I mean, you guys did make it pretty obvious.
I must ask, Mr. Wickham,
What is the manner of your disapproval of Mr. Darcy?
I mean, have you met the man?
With his last breath, Father bequeathed me the rectory in his estate.
Oh.
He knew I had my heart set on joining the church, but Darcy ignored his wishes and gave the living to another man.
But why?
Jealousy.
Well, I mean, his father did pretty much outright reject him.
Well, he loved me better, and Darcy couldn't stand it.
Yeah, no fucking wonder. It was his dad. Oh, God. Therapy. Therapy! I really like how the humming is incorporated into the score. That's cute.
Jane, do you never think ill of anybody?
Well, how could Mr. Darcy do such a thing?
Angst. Like, I understand why Darcy was upset, but he did kind of ruin the man. Oh, it's a cotillion, I see. Because all the girls are wearing white. So far, this movie is staged beautifully. Especially when it comes to spacing and how the houses of these people should feel.
So pleased you're here.
The way his sister...
How are you? Miss Elizabeth, are you looking for someone?
Yes. He's a little awkward, bless him.
The back of your head is ridiculous.
Oh my god. Why was that a jump scare? I just see men in red coats and ponytails, and they all have ponytails.
Lizzie, Mr. Wickham is not here. Apparently he's been detained.
Oh.
He must be here.
Hi?
Well, her ladyship included have complimented me on my lightness of foot.
Might be the height. Terrible. Clergymen can be short kings too, can't they? Does this man blink? Blink! Yeah, no, you can't continue conversation like this. Oh god, this is just overstimulation.
If I may be so bold, to remain close to you throughout the evening.
Can you blink when you say that? The way all the joy goes out of her eyes. Oh, Lord.
May I have the next dance, Miss Elizabeth?
I don't know, you want it? Girl.
It would be most inconvenient since I just want to loathe him for all eternity.
I mean, not really. I really want to cut his hair. This is a man who's trying to cover up the fact that he's just as awkward as his friend. I don't think anything needs to be said.
No, I prefer to be unsociable and taciturn.
Which she has never been her entire life, but okay. I like her spunk. I've been watching Legend of Fae. I can really tell that Priest loves Elizabeth Darcy. I mean, they've said it much before, several times. And suddenly, they're the only people in the room. Two equal opponents. And, bye. He's like, oh, fuck.
Mr. Darcy.
Yeah, he's not even gonna acknowledge him. A secondhand embarrassment. She's just here to be shady, isn't she? She is here for music and nothing else.
Have the other young ladies have a turn?
But Dad, music, it's not a phase.
Of course.
The transition from scene to scene are seamless.
We fully expect a most advantageous marriage.
She's like the Kris Jenner of the Edwardian world. These two are here to cause trouble and nothing else. Are they supposed to be twins?
There are few of us who are secure enough to be really in love without proper encouragement.
Mom's having the time of her life. Pollen allergies? Yeah, no. Elizabeth ain't about you, my guy. Aww. Mary just wants her record deal! And she's feeling weird and kind of overwhelmed, and I don't blame her. There's a lot.
You cannot be serious.
Come on, don't let your sister talk you out of a good thing. Mr. Bennett! Let the man sleep. A little bit hungover? Oh, I forgot you were here. Oh, she notices him.
Oh, yes.
She's like, no, 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 no.
Happy indeed.
No, I wouldn't, Mom.
Jane.
Don't leave me. Yeah, sorry, Lizzie. You ain't got a friend in the world in this one. That flower is the most frightening thing in the world to her right now, and I don't freaking blame her.
I singled you out as the companion of my future life.
Ha, bullshit.
That it is at the urging of my esteemed patroness, Lady Catherine.
Do you love Lady Catherine?
My affection.
Mr. Collins.
And that no reproach on the subject of fortune will cross my lips once we're married.
You are too hasty, sir. You forget that I have given no answer.
That's not what I'm worried about, bro.
By your proposal, but I regret that I must decline it.
Yeah, no, one, you're my cousin.
I know ladies don't seek to seem too easy.
Mr. Collins, I
No,
am
bro.
perfectly serious.
I just don't like you. I'm too sassy for you, bro.
Besides, you should take into account that despite your manifold attractions, it's by no means certain that another offer of marriage may ever be made to you.
Is he negging her right now? Those girls really have no... She feels bad for him, though. You ain't gonna catch her. You ain't gonna catch her. Lizzie ain't got no shoes on. She is down the street.
You must come and make Lizzie marry Mr. Collins.
I'm not gonna fucking do that.
Now! Mr. Bennett, say something.
What you gotta say, Dad?
Your mother will never see you again if you do not marry Mr. Collins. And I will never see you again if you do.
Thanks, Dad.
Not that I take much pleasure in talking.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you don't. No one in your family ever is ever quiet. Not even Mary, who never says a word but plays the piano constantly. Oh, I can't read that. Oh, is he leaving? Why did you let your sister talk you into that shit? Come on! You know you shouldn't have let her talk you into leaving. Your sister's an asshole. Guess I'll be waiting till next season. Now, what do they do fall and winter?
Read it, I don't mind.
My sister is an asshole.
Caroline sees that her brother is in love with you and is taking him up to persuade him otherwise.
Yep.
But I know her to be incapable of willfully deceiving anyone.
I don't think she needed to deceive him. I think she just needed to convince him.
He loves you, Jane. Do not give up. I'm sure that will cheer her up, Papa.
Well, it's your turn now, Lizzie.
Your mom's gonna be up your ass 24/7. I hope you know this.
Mr. Collins and I are engaged.
That was fast.
To be married?
Yes, of course, Lizzie. What other kind of engaged is there? I'm 27 years old. I've no money and no prospects.
Oh, so that's what this is from.
Don't you dare judge me.
She has a point. Lizzie does seem much younger than she does. People really did look down on spinsters an awful lot. I mean, spinster itself is not exactly the best term. Are we watching time go by? Are we gonna see snow next spin? Yeah, we're watching the seasons go by. It feels like time is passing by. I guess this scene of her swinging on the swing like this, she does kind of acknowledge that she's still a bit of a child.
I must confess the view from where I sit has been rather grey.
She's lonely, which I get.
My dear, I think our guest is tired after her journey.
I found many improvements, of course.
Yeah, he completely ignores her.
Oh, Lizzie, it's such a pleasure to run my own home.
Ah, that's the truth.
Lady Catherine's never been averse to the truly humble.
Is he in love with Lady Catherine? Because it seems like it.
Glazing alone costs upwards of £20,000.
He's just full of little factoids, isn't he? Of course it's not Angela Lansbury, Judi Dench. God.
£300.
Oh!
Mr. Darcy.
Mr.
Oh,
Collins,
wow,
you can't
that looks...
sit next to your wife. Move. Over there.
Why can't you sit next to your wife?
I haven't been fortunate enough,
You
no.
play the pianoforte, Miss Bennet. You draw?
No, not at all.
Your sisters, do they draw?
Not one.
But my sister does play the pianoforte very well.
Has your governess left you?
We never had a governess.
Oh, this is gonna be so awkward.
Governess. 5 daughters brought up at home without a governess. I never heard such a thing. Your mother must have been quite a slave to your education.
Oh, she takes a great pleasure in it. Trust me.
Very hard on younger sisters not to have their share of amusement because the elder is still unmarried. It would hardly encourage sisterly affection. 3 younger sisters grown up, your ladyship can hardly expect me to own to it.
For music is my delight. If I had ever learned, I should have been a great proficient.
Oh god. Cats has cursed me. Every time I see the serious Judi Dench face, I think of the way she looked directly into the camera in Cats.
No excellence can be acquired without constant practice. I've told Mrs. Collins this. Though you have no instrument of your own, you're very welcome to come to Rosings and play on the pianoforte in the housekeeper's room.
Oh, thank you,
You'll be in nobody's way in that part of the house.
Dang.
Prepare yourself for something very dreadful.
Oh.
I do not have the talent of conversing easily with people I have never met before.
I'm shy. Give me a break.
Aunt's advice and practice.
Oh, she got you there, bud. And I shall pine.
Dear Jane.
This house sucks. Everything sucks. Lady Catherine sucks.
Mr. Darcy.
Yes?
Please do be seated.
This is a charming house.
Oh, God.
I believe my aunt.
Oh, my God.
Good day, Miss Elizabeth. It's been a pleasure.
God. That was embarrassing, Darcy.
What on earth have you done to poor Mr. Darcy?
Nothing. I tried to have a conversation with him. That was a disaster.
Nobody doesn't marry and secure a lasting convenience of that kind.
She wouldn't be a lucky woman.
That woman's you. That woman's you.
He saved the man from an imprudent marriage.
Who was the man?
His closest friend, Charles Bingley.
Oh.
I think it was a family that was considered unsuitable.
Yeah. She's gonna beat his ass. She's gonna destroy him.
Miss Elizabeth, I have fought against my better judgment, my family's expectation, the inferiority of your birth, my rank and circumstance, all these things, and I'm willing to put them aside and ask you to end my agony.
I don't understand.
And? You just insulted my entire family and the station of my fuck you.
I appreciate the struggle you have been through, and
I don't.
I'm very sorry to have caused you pain.
I'm not.
Believe me, it was unconsciously done.
Well, that's true.
Are you laughing at me?
No, I am horribly insulted.
You separated a young couple who loved each other, exposing your friend to the center of the world for caprice, and my sister to its derision for disappointed hopes.
When I said she's shy, she's shy. You should have just fucking asked her.
The lack of propriety shown by your mother, your 3 younger sisters, even on occasion your father.
You really think you're better than my entire family? And you're gonna come up here and say you love me?
You and your sister I must exclude.
That's not good enough! Are you kidding me?
And what about Mr. Wickham? He told me of his misfortunes.
Oh, yes, his misfortunes have been very great. So this is your opinion of me?
Yes!
Did you expect me to rejoice in the inferiority of your circumstances?
And those are the words of a gentleman. Your selfish disdain for the feelings of others made me realize that you were the last man in the world I could ever be prevailed upon to marry.
Oh, you deserved that. You look hurt, but you deserved it. If you kiss her, she's gonna kill you. And she watches her one chance at happiness go down because she realized that he's kind of a dick. And now he has to struggle with the fact that he's also kind of a dick. And that ruined his chances at any decent amount of happiness. I just go home. Like, fuck it. I'm out. I'm going home. So he's been in love with her pretty much from the moment he saw her. She had to come to it, but now she has to sort of, yeah, Can we help old Lizzie, please? I can't see who that is. Oh. Are you going to apologize? Oh, wow, the way her facial expression subtly changed. Better be a written apology.
I shall not renew the sentiments which were so disgusting to you.
Oh my god, you're missing the point.
But upon my father's death, Mr. Wickham announced he had no intention of taking orders. He demanded the value of the living which he was given, and which he gambled away within weeks.
Ah, there we go.
As to the other matter, that of your sister and Mr. Bingley, though the motives which governed me may to you appear insufficient, they were in the service of a friend.
I know.
Are you alright?
No. Dang, in Edwardian times, you really just stayed at people's houses for months.
I'm quite over him, Lizzie. If you passed me in the street, I'd hardly notice.
Are you sure about that?
It's true. There's so much to entertain. What news from Kent? Nothing. He's not much to entertain.
Lydia's been invited to go to Brighton with the force.
Oh, she's going for season.
Check her. She will be fixed forever as the silliest and most determined flirt who ever made her family ridiculous.
Lizzie, we shall have no peace until she goes.
No, she is going to bring the house down if you say no.
What are men compared to rocks and mountains?
Believe me, men are either eaten up with arrogance or stupidity.
Oh, take care, my love. That savours strongly of bitterness.
Just because I am bitter. I'm real upset right now.
To Darcy when I was at Rosing. Why did you not tell me?
Oh, no.
Did he mention Mr. Bingley? No. No, he did not.
More time passing. Girl, what? Establishing shot who? Keira Knightley can pull off some bangs now. She can pull off some bangs.
Mr. Darcy's home.
I have a hankering to see it.
Oh, no, let's not.
Can we? You still love him.
So what? These great men are never at home.
And now it's just like, oh, but why am I disappointed to hear that? Complicated feelings, man. Trust me. I get it. Okay. Very odd reaction shot, but I really liked it. Just her reaction to the opulence this man has been born into. Ceiling painted like the Sistine friggin' Chapel. Oh, I do love that statue. It looks so delicate despite being made of marble. And there's the symbolism for you right there. She's got such a tough exterior. Lizzie really is a romantic at heart. It kind of describes Darcy as well. You kind of have to have an odd shell in times like in such close-knit communities where everyone sort of knows everyone and they sort of judge you on everything you do. It's not really even like a content of your character kind of thing. But yeah, like I was saying before, you have here the man made of stone, but really he is quite delicate despite what he's made of. Why do I want to cry? Here are my feelings, but I still kind of like him. And I don't know. Don't tell me they're gonna run into each other again. God, this movie is beautiful. Like everything is just making sure that you know that England is as verdant as humanly possible at all times. I have always been a little bit enamored with like Victorian and Edwardian design. Everything is so deliberate, and it's very much unlike the style of fashion we have today because everything is minimalistic, because people can't afford shit. You know, that's another story for another day. Yep, he's home. And he does have a heart.
Miss Elizabeth!
Wait. See, now you know how I have feelings. Also, why were you spying on me?
No,
We were not to come
early.
in, you know,
Some business with my steward.
Oh man, it's really starting to occur to me exactly how many romantic comedies are based off of this movie. Or book, sorry. I don't want you to go though. Oh my god, you two cannot help but be awkward around each other. She's gonna go down those stairs and immediately have a breakdown. Go after her! Oh my god, I am begging these two to have a goddamn conversation. Please. Please.
You don't mind delaying our journey another day?
No, guys, I suppose not. The fates are determined to stick us together.
Miss Elizabeth!
Wait, how do they know each other?
My brother has told me so much about you.
Oh.
Then he has perjured himself most profoundly.
No, I said played quite well.
Oh, quite well is not very well.
Oh, we're back to bantering. This is why they like each other. And Mr. Darcy actually can be a polite host. Oh dear. That's not good. No, someone go see what's wrong.
Lydia has run away with Mr. Wickham.
Oh dear.
I might have prevented all this merely by being open with my sisters.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think they let you get a word in edgewise.
But I know very well that nothing can be done.
No, we go find Liddy. You can, because you have money.
This is grave indeed. I will leave you.
No! She's at her greatest need! Why are you leaving? Lydia wanted to go see the officers. Now she knows what the officers are really like.
I will take you now with a fallen sister.
Wow, that's what you care about?
Lydia must know what this must be doing to my nerves.
I think Lydia's in a worse spot than you might think.
How could she do such a thing to her poor mamma?
Lizzie's about to snap.
Uncle must have been very generous.
Oh,
Do you think it a large sum?
yes.
Lydia married. And at 15 too.
Dang!
Daughter married. Is that really all you think about?
Yes.
When you have 5 daughters, Lizzie, tell me what else will occupy your thoughts, and then perhaps you will understand.
I don't know, Mama. By then, it will be World War I, and we won't have to worry about this bullshit.
We passed Sarah Sims in her carriage, so I took
She's so put out. Oh, no.
Place to get husbands. I hope you have half my good luck.
The maid is like, alright, I'm here to hum and enhance the score. You better let go of me.
She was horrid unpleasant. Can't you understand why?
No, she doesn't. She's 15.
Mr. Darcy was at your wedding.
He was the one that discovered us.
He's the one who tipped off your uncle. So that's how the sum happened.
Mr. Darcy's not half as high-mighty as he is sometimes.
You have no room to be as stuck up as you are, little girl. Listen, look here.
When I married your father, there didn't seem to be enough hours in the day.
Hand, please, and get the brush. I know you done lost your goddamn mind getting married without my permission. You little girl, I swear to God. This is not gonna end well. See? See?
Mrs. Nichols is ordering a haunch of pork.
Speaking of haunch of pork, I'm making a pork roast right at this very minute. My door is open. I can smell it. I am starving.
His sister remains in town.
Why he thinks we should be interested, I've no idea. Come along, girls.
But I dread other people's remarks. Oh, I'm sorry.
I feel like that was not planned. I keep wanting to call her Judy. Her name is not Judy, it's Jane. She's humming Greensleeves.
Mr. Bingley. Mr. Bingley?
Mom's like, oh God, my hair's not done. I'm not wearing a bra.
You do not appear overbearing. Look, there's someone with her. Mr. What's-his-name pompous on from the floor. Mr. Darcy? What very insolence of it. What do you think of coming here? It's still clean. Mary, put that away at once. Find some useful employment. Oh, my lord. Did you ever see you? I'm sure I shall. Kitty. Kitty, get this here. No, the ribbons. Mary, sit down at once. Mary!
Mr. Darcy.
Wonderful.
I'm very glad we are to see you, Mr. Bingley.
So awkward.
Great.
Are you well, Mr. Darcy?
Yeah.
I hope that the weather
does indeed.
Oh my God, Bingley, please just apologize to her.
Well, we must be going, I think.
Oh my God! I would pay money for these people to not be so fucking awkward. Sure. I'm gonna go hyperventilate now. Thanks. Now it goes against my plan. Like, I wanted to talk to Jane. Fucking...
Oh, it's a disaster.
Yes. Oh, and he's helping him practice. Bless.
At least now we can meet as indifferent acquaintances.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Good luck.
You are in great danger of making him as much in love with you as ever.
The look of terror in her eye.
Look, it's him. He's back. He's come again.
Oh, God.
To request the privilege of speaking to Miss Bennett.
The oldest Miss Bennett, please.
Everybody to the kitchen.
Okay, it's happening.
Immediately. You.
Better treat my sister right, you son of a bitch. Oh my God, please just tell her the truth. I'm dying.
First, I must tell you I've been the most unmitigated and comprehensive ass.
Yes. Girl! Kitty! Catherine! Stop!
1,000 times, yes.
There we go. Shy and awkward. A match made in heaven.
I thought it would never happen.
Mom, please, do you have to be embarrassing all the time? Oh my God, please. I'm going to die. I need you to approach this woman. Okay, well, he did what he came to do and not to fulfill his own selfish desires. I get it.
Tempers are much alike.
They really are. They're so awkward, bless.
They will always exceed their income.
Until World War I.
I knew she could not be so beautiful for nothing.
Jesus, Mom.
Whose mind glows with the warmth of sensibility and whose arguments result from conviction. She must feel the influence of those.
Oh, I feel like that's not special at all. I feel like that phrase doesn't mean anything. Oh, and this will be the last night in the room they spend together.
How did he account for it?
He thought me indifferent.
Unfathomable.
A little bit, but also by Mr. Darcy.
Oh, Lizzie, if I could but see you so happy, if there was such another man for you.
There may yet be.
Perhaps Mr. Collins has a cousin.
Lady Catherine.
Oh, all right.
I need to speak to Miss Elizabeth Bennet alone.
Oh.
You can be at no loss, Miss Bennet, to understand why I am here.
Are you here to intercede on your nephew's behalf?
That you intend to be united with my nephew, Mr. Darcy.
Who told you that?
I know. Has it not been industriously circulated by yourself?
I have never heard of it.
No.
Are the shades of Pemberley to be thus polluted?
Fuck you!
You have insulted me in every possible way and can now have nothing further to say.
She's like, oh, this is where he gets it from.
I have never been thus treated in my entire life.
I mean, you came in here to insult me. That really was a misunderstanding, like truly and genuinely. Now she feels browbeaten and isolated, which I don't frickin' blame her for. And now she has a reason as to why Mr. Darcy is like that. Sounds like she's been up all night, too. Where is she going? Well, she is rather fond of walking. Also, Judi Dench just, like, fucked her up for, like, no other reason than to confirm some selfish sort of, I want to make sure my nephew does not marry someone below his station. And he's doing the exact same thing. He has to come see her. Oh, my. In his half button-up shirt, walking out of here like a god, like the original romance novel. That Howl's moving castle ain't got nothing on me. Howl and Sophie, fuck it. Elizabeth and Darcy.
If your feelings are still what they were last April, tell me so at once. My affections and wishes have not changed. But one word from you will silence me forever. You have bewitched me, body and soul, and I love, and love, and love you. I never wish to be parted from you from this day on.
Well then.
No shot! No fucking shot! That was the most romantic shit I have ever seen! I spit a little. I was excited.
This would be nothing if you really liked him.
I do like him.
We're equals in every way, like seriously. Still disheveled and pacing.
Like him. I thought she didn't like him.
So did I, so did we all. We must have been wrong.
I think everyone was wrong.
We misjudged him, but part me more than anyone in every way, not just in this matter.
Not really. He did insult you to your face.
You really do love him, don't you?
No, don't give me sad dad stuff. It hurts my heart. This is basically my conversation with my dad after my husband proposed to me. He's so happy for her.
Parted with you, my Lizzie.
And he does have to see her go, though.
How are you this evening, my dear?
Very well. You may only call me Mrs. Darcy when you are completely and perfectly and incandescently happy.
Please immediately call her Mrs. Darcy.
And how are you this evening, Mrs. Darcy?
Yes! Please kiss her on the lips. I am begging you. Wonderful. That was lovely. That was lovely. And I very much appreciate it. Okay. I get it now. God strike me dead. I fucking get it now. Dr. Lopez, wherever you are, I hope that you suddenly get a feeling of vindication that you have never felt before, because okay, I get it. I am a bit of a convert now, but only for Pride and Prejudice, okay? I like to stand by my convictions. When I don't like something, I say that I don't like something. And maybe it's the adaptation, I don't know. So help me God, I liked it. Okay, yes, the movie was a bit too long. Most period pieces are. It also just might be because I'm hungry. I wouldn't say that this is the perfect romantic movie. I wouldn't say that it's the perfect romantic story, but I get why it's inspired so many. And you know, the best part is, it also works as a coming of age story. I don't know how old Elizabeth is. I don't know how old her sisters are, but it does make sense as a coming of age story for both Darcy and Elizabeth, and I'll get to that in a minute. But what I want to talk about first is the movie rather than the story. So one thing I want to talk about first is the feeling of proximity and then distance. Proximity is a huge theme in the way this movie looks. When Elizabeth has some time to herself, when she's feeling particularly sad or upset, she is normally alone. She is usually alone in these very wide open expanses, and her home life is very close-knit. They're all very close to each other, and when they are themselves, they're practically on top of each other, and sometimes this isn't always portrayed as a good thing. Sometimes everyone is laughing and giggling and they're very close to each other. Other times it's loud, almost oppressive and overwhelming. Everybody's talking at once. And then there is how they portray Mr. Darcy, who is always standing like 10 paces away from his sister, 10 paces away from his friends, always at an arm's length of people that he's even trying to help, even when he is surrounded by people, even when he's at balls and just at places where everyone is so crunched together, he still stands alone. He's taller than everyone else. He's the only one wearing dark clothing, the only one not wearing a top hat or a wig, and he's often just off by himself, clearly feeling incredibly lonely in a room full of people that he should, by all means, be getting along with because that's what's required of him. I really love how the movie shows that Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy are really meant for each other, because Mr. Darcy sort of flourishes in isolation where Elizabeth kind of wilts, and they really complement each other in that way, and I like how the movie represents that visually. They're basically matching towards the end of the movie. I really, really love how this movie looks and how beautiful it is. I like the contrast of everything being bright and green and colorful, because this is all happening during the summer and spring, which is, you know, the British season back in Victorian and Edwardian times where most young women are getting married. Oh, let me take these off. Yeah, I still don't know how I feel about the hair. That's another story for another day. I really genuinely feel that the movie went through great lengths to essentially close the gap between the two. For a while, even when they were talking, they were rarely seen in the same frame. As far as the story goes, there are some things that feel like have been left on the cutting room floor. I'll be real with you, I don't know what version I got. I know this is the 2005 version. It feels heavily edited. I will say that. I feel like there's a lot more we could talk about with Lydia. I feel like Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy needed a lot more scenes together. I'm quite sure they did in the book. That's why I see this version of Pride and Prejudice specifically as a coming of age story for Elizabeth. She has spent most of her life buried in her family, if that makes sense. There's always something going on. There's always someone humming, someone playing, someone yelling. And when Mr. Darcy is there, it's just her and him in the room. She feels equal to him. I mean, she is in almost every way. Elizabeth really comes into her own, not just as sort of like a snarky, I guess, almost teenager, maybe 20 something, maybe about like 20, 21, maybe even younger. And she kind of talks shit, kind of teases people, and sometimes spouts off at the mouth more than she should. And then also on the other hand, you have Mr. Darcy, who has clearly been browbeaten by most people in his life and has trouble expressing his emotions. But his inability to express his emotions and state his intentions clearly and concisely actually seriously not just affects the people around him, but himself and his relationships. Like, there is nothing he can say to prove to Elizabeth that he really wants her. He realizes that he has to do something. In his world, all you have is your word and status, but Elizabeth comes from a different world. And your deeds speak to you as a person. I really think that this version of Pride and Prejudice, I don't know about the other versions that I don't know about the book, is more of a coming of age story. I do appreciate this story as a romantic story, as a romance, but it is more of a coming of age, a realization that I can no longer be the way I was because the way I wasn't helping. I am still going to be stuck in the exact same place I am in if I do not change. Like, it reminds me of Beauty and the Beast. What's that line? It's a line that I really love and I forget. Bittersweet and strange, finding you can change, learning you were wrong. And a lot of people do not react to being wrong well. As a matter of fact, more often than not these days, they double down and start pressing the matter and they get more aggressive. Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth both realize, no, take a step back. I've been incorrect. Mr. Darcy is having difficulty expressing his emotions. He didn't mean to insult me. I understand now what he was trying to say. And Darcy's like, I can't continue to talk to Elizabeth like she is beneath me. I have to prove to her that I love her. And I have to make an effort to show that because telling her isn't going to work. All of the subplots, I will say, have been left completely open. Like, what about Lydia? What about Lady Catherine? Or is anyone gonna tell her to fuck off? What about Mr. Collins and his wife? They seem bored. I feel like those stories are kind of left by the wayside, but I also feel like they kind of have to be because honestly, if they had put them in this movie, it would be way too long. 2 hours is enough. I admit it. I did deeply enjoy this movie. I really did. I love the use of music throughout where a lot of what the characters were doing seemed mundane, but the music really brought out how they must feel, like especially that penultimate moment where Mr. Darcy came through the mist like a fucking badass, like, I am here to love my woman and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. I really, really, really think that this movie made such an effort to tell a beautiful story. Like, there was so much of this movie that could have been grimy and weird. I would give it a solid 7 or 8 out of 10. Isn't exactly going to influence me the way The Menu did, but I will say that it is a very good movie. I get it. Yeah, I get it. Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy are the couple. I'm not exactly a convert, okay? But I get it. And I'm admitting that I get it. Now, on to housekeeping. A couple of you guys have asked me to do a couple of movies. Triangle of Sadness, for instance. I might have to say no on that one because it looks disgusting. Do not like on-screen vomiting. Get Out and Gone Girl are going to have to wait. I think the next movies are probably going to be Romeo and Juliet and Great Gatsby. I will be very, very excited to see an adaptation of The Great Gatsby. I didn't think much of it when the movie came out because, I'll be honest with you, I didn't really give a shit. I reread the book recently and I'm like, you know what? That might be a good idea. And I have more to say about Romeo and Juliet too. I promise you, I'm gonna blow your fucking mind. Regardless, please like if you like this video, please subscribe if you really like this video and would like to see more. If you really, really like me, you can support the channel on Patreon where I post full, uncut, uncensored reactions the day before I post them on YouTube. So I'm doing sort of a Wednesday to Friday thing. You will see them on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you would like to find me on social media, you can find me on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, or TikTok. And remember, if you're in the United States and you know about the potential TikTok ban, it's not about TikTok. They are trying to control the information and your freedom of speech. Call your congressman. Know your rights. With that being said, thank you for watching. Stay weird, lovelies, and happy eating. Also, fuck Twitter.